I think it's on. I think the stream is on. Nice, we are live. Yeah, I just want to check whether it's working. Oh shit, that's pretty dope. Okay. Yeah, so this stream, what I want to do is I want to try and see if I can get sqlfmt to work. So sqlfmt is an SQL formatter that I use at work. It's really nice. But it has some rough edges, and I want to see, because it's open source, right? We all can contribute to it. I'm gonna start it because it's pretty cool. So let's see if I can pull it, if I can get it to work. Yeah, let's try. So I first have to clone it, so I'm gonna clone it. So git clone clone into sqlfmt, cd sqlfmt, and then let's open up the code. Most likely what we need, we probably need something like we have to install all the settings to build it. Yeah, contributing. It's a pretty nice piece of code. So we have poetry, pyenv, make, and GCC. Ooh, I'm not sure if I can run make. Ooh, that's gonna be rough. Clone the repo. Poetry install extra Jinja FMT to install the project editable. Okay, let's try this. I'm not sure if this immediately creates a new virtual environment or that it okay, wait. So it says skipping virtual environment. So I am going to create my own virtual environment. So it's conda create name sqlfmt. Yes. And then I'm thinking, which version of Python do I want? The version of Python they use is 3.7, which is interesting. How do we say 3.7? Conda create 5.7. So that's like by 3. Set version Python conda env. Python equals. Yeah, Python equals. Okay. So what I like to do is when I learn something new, I make a flashcard out of it, so I don't forget it. So I make a flashcard. How to set Python version in conda create Python equals 3.7. Conda. Nice. Okay, let's do that. So we make a new conda create name sqlfmt. Yes. Python equals 3.7. Maybe the yes needs to be at the end. Okay. No, that's fine. I'm really not sure if I can build it on Windows. I don't have make, so let's try. I'm not sure. Because the make source pre-commit hooks make file. Okay, run make file Windows. This is possible. Sigwin. Winget should be possible. there are more people like me. Okay, so we do conda create, no, conda activate sqlfmt. And now we do poetry install gingerfmt. So we go to, just follow the steps. So install poetry, clone this repo, poetry install ginger efmt. Oh, of course we don't have poetry yet because we made a new conda environment. So pip install poetry. Because of course, if you make a new virtual environment, you don't have the poetry that's installed globally using pipx. So now we just wait. Now we wait. We can do something in the meanwhile. Not sure what, but let's read on the instructions. Let's see. So we need to use poetry, and then we used make. Or on PyTest, Black, Flake 8, isort, and MyPy. So PyTest runs the tests, Black formats the code, Flake 8 is the linter, also formats the code, or gives lint warnings. Isort sorts, I think the imports. I think it sorts the imports alphabetically, which is nice. And MyPy is a static type checker, which this code is really nice. If you encounter a JSON decode error, we need to clear the cache. This always works. Okay. This worked, so we do a clear. We just installed poetry, so now we do poetry install efmt, gingerfmt. So let's hope this works. So poetry is super cool and super nice in the sense that it really allows you to have a it really fixes the packaging and versioning for you. And I really love it. It really solved a lot of issues that I had with, you know, pinning versions in pip. And now that we have poetry, using a requirements.txt feels so outdated. Poetry works by, okay, it's done. Wish I could explain further. So poetry works by this Py project file, which pins all the versions and has a bunch of extra stuff in there as well. And then it makes a big dependency graph of which packages are compatible with which other packages. And then it alerts you if one of your package's versions are incompatible, which is amazing. Okay, we don't have to run poetry shell because we are in the conda environment already. We could probably, but I think that's excessive. So now we just need to run make, and I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see. Nope. Make is not recognized as an internal or external command. Okay. Let's see. So it installed Black, it installed Flake 8, it installed isort, and it installed MyPy. So I do have all these things. So if I type Black, it should work. If I type isort, it should work. If I have Flake 8, it should also work. So that's super cool that it comes like with batteries included. Only thing is, how do I run the makefile now? I mean, I don't really need to run the makefile though, because the makefile, I'm not too familiar with makefiles, but from what it looks like, it runs PyTest. It runs this command, which I could manually run. Here. Which is pretty fast. It lints with isort all the files, Black all the files, Flake 8 all the files, and MyPy all the files. And then it profiles. So most important, I think, is that I just run these things once to see if it works, I guess. Ooh, that's a lot of tests. Damn. Okay. Anyway, while the tests are running... Ooh. Okay. Can I ignore these coverage files? Get ignore. Hello. Get ignore. Get ignore. Yeah, no. Come on. Okay. It's creating a lot of coverage reports, which is nice, but I need to click on the get ignore. Click, 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 click. Okay, this is kind of annoying. Okay, let me stop this. It's taking up a lot of my... Okay, it's creating a lot of files here, which confuses me. Open up File Explorer. Okay. Coverage, but I feel like that's a lot of items. I feel like I can ignore. Yeah, coverage. Tests. Coverage. Oh. Okay, so I see if I can run the tests through here. It doesn't find the tests in VS Code, which makes sense. Well, not makes sense, but let me make a branch. Do I need to make a branch, or I can go on the main? Now I can work on the main because I need to fork it actually. That's fine to work on the main for now, but usually you would make like a feature branch, merge it in. I need to make a new file called .env, and then I need to type in something like Python path equals source, and this adds the source folder to my path on VS Code. Now I need to close this and reopen this, and then the test should be discovered, I think, automatically. So I can add this, get status, get add, get commit. No, wait, I actually don't want to add this file, so I need to add this in the get ignore. This is just for my own, yeah, get status. So new file, change to be committed. I want to get restore staged env. Okay, so now I only have the get ignore. Yeah, so add env to get ignore. Okay, get push. No, pushing would be weird. Yeah, I'm not allowed to do that. That's fine. Okay, so now I should be able to run the tests by going here. Now it should find the tests, which it doesn't. Because I added the Python path. Because the source code is not in source, but it's in source sqlfmt, I think. Okay, and now we have to, maybe it runs even when I just refresh it here. Nope. I think I need to reboot the whole VS Code, so let's do that. And then we go sqlfmt. And now the test should be discovered, hopefully. Please. PyTest discovery error. Okay, it says see output, so let's go to the output. There's a lot of like flies here. Let's go to the view run terminal, view debug console, and then testing output. Should be a flat output, testing output. There should be like a Python test log. Output Python. Output Python. Here. Okay, this is a log from your window. This is a log from main. Git Python here. So it's not finding the tests because it's trying to import exact token types from token. But it cannot find the file. Cannot from token import exact token types. So from token import from token import tokenize. Okay, wait, where can I? Line 35, so line 35. No, that's not correct, I think. In tokenize dot by import inspect. I'm a bit confused. Primer. No, I don't think this is the correct thing to look at. I want to run the tests. Which test is giving me error? So I'm trying to run. Okay, it's trying to say Python interpreter path, poetry end of list, full path. No. From token import exact token types. Okay, let's see if this is, from token. This is kind of an odd, kind of a weird error, but I'm gonna write it down. So like in this kind of a new file called like debug, I guess. Debug. So I get like this error, I guess, when trying to run the tests. It's kind of an odd error. Okay. So what do we do when we get an error? We try to Google it, of course. Token type. This is nice that he makes and others as well. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's not get distracted by this. Cannot import exact token types. So this is like an error in one of the packages that I use. So in Anaconda 3 tokenize. This is really odd though. Okay, so there's a library called token. Your interpreter might be confusing it with the built-in. Okay, so there is a built-in library. So tokenize. libtokenize provides a lexical scanner for Python source code implemented in Python. Okay. So tokenize is probably a standard lexical parser, a parser where a lexical parser is, I think, a thing that allows you to go through source code, and then token type, blah 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 blah. I'm not sure where it errors, so can we try again? Can we just run it again? So if I run pytest here, okay, so let me run pytest. Let's see if this works. Because the commands that he uses in the readme, no, in the makefile is coverage, report term missing, and then tests only the unit tests. Oh, and test end to end. Okay. Functional tests, unit tests, test general formatting. Okay, let's see if this works. 600 tests. That's a lot of tests for a seemingly small piece of code, but it is a really nicely written piece of code. So let's see if we can get the test to run. I'm still kind of confused why show recommendations. I'm still confused why it throws an error. So it throws an error in the standard library from Anaconda, which should be 3.7. So this is Python 3.7. And then we have import token type, debug console problems. So, okay, so whatever is causing the issue is in the testing tools adapter. We have pytest, discover, import pytest, collect. From deprecated, we import the test collection, pytest collect module. Warning. Import nothing. Interesting. Inspect, line cache, tokenize. And then we try to exact token types. Huh. Okay, so this all works. It's okay, if I run the unit tests, how fast is that? If I just run the unit tests, it takes a minute to run all the tests, which is really good actually. My tests for my corporate projects are actually worse. So tests, so pytest test unit tests, so pytest tests unit tests should be really quick, but there are a lot of tests, it seems, which is really good. Pretty sweet, to be honest. Okay, so we're almost there, getting it to work. I just want to be able to run this in my VS Code. So I want to be able to run the tests automatically in the VS Code. But it is kind of annoying, though. That doesn't seem... I mean, I can run them in a terminal, but ideally I want to run them here. But it says it has an error discovering the pytests. Because the tests are in the test directory, of course. Tests. That makes sense. And the source code is in src sqlfmt. So for example, this test imports from sqlfmt, import actions from sqlfmt, import from sqlfmt analyzer. Okay, so the source directory should be actually the source directory. So it should be the source directory. So we say Python path equals source. We save it. And let's see if that fixes the issue. Can I restart it? Restart. File. Close window. No, okay, let's just restart this then. And now pray that it works. Okay, now it's giving me actually a different error. It's giving me a lot of different errors now. PyTest discovery failed. Okay, this is good. Now we have a different error. Okay, reverted the Python path to source, and now we get a different error. Now we get this error, which is module not found error, which is of course, because okay, shit, of course. So the point is, this works because we are in the sqlfmt conda environment, but of course VS Code doesn't have realized I am not in the right virtual environment. So for this, we actually need to be in the, where is my Python? We need to be in the correct Python interpreter. So this is my base Python, and I need to be in the sqlfmt conda environment, of course. So now I am in a 3.7, and now it's, look, there we are. Nice. This is really good. So let's refresh it. Perfect. This is nice. Okay, awesome. So I think we can run all the tests now, at least the unit tests. So let's try to run these. The functional tests there's a lot of tests, actually. There's a lot of tests. So what did we learn from this? First of all, set your Python path. Second of all, make sure you're in the right environment. Okay, so what we want to do, or what I want to do, and I'm not sure how long this is going to take, or if I'm going to make any progress on this course. So sqlfmt is an SQL formatter, which is really nice. I like it a lot. And the problem that I have with it is that it auto-formats a query like this, which is like select star from historic answers, where condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, condition 4, and I want it to format it like this. Or as in, I think there should be a flag that maybe formats it like this. And I wonder if it's possible to change the code in such a way that this formatting gets spit out by it. Yeah, so basically we want every Boolean operator, like every where clause, to be on a new line. But I have no idea how the code works. Only thing I know is that it's written pretty well, has a lot of type hints, it's cleanly documented, and it has a lot of test cases. So let's see if we can write some tests, make it fail, write some code to make it not fail. That's how test-driven development works. But I've never done it in like a code base that I'm not really familiar with. That being said, I think we are all set up. I have the correct environment. I'm in the correct environment in VS Code. I ran the tests, they all passed, so I think we can get started with actually writing code. But first, I'm wondering, should I go? Should I look at the code and see if I can understand it first, or should I just run a test and see that it fails? Test actions, test analyzers. So these are like a lot of. So what I really like about tests is that they allow you to kind of step through the program. So I'll just go to test end to end because I'm curious to see how it works. Okay, so these are the options which you can parameterize. Ah, this is cute. This is so nice. Assert 6 files. Test general formatting. I actually don't know how this works, the parameterized. PyTest mark parameterize. I think you can run the same test with a lot of different parameters instead of having instead of having like a lot of different code. Okay. Let's go to the data. Let's just pick one. Let's pick a nice data, the pre-formatted. Select one, select from where, literals, select with, select. Formatting off, multi-line Jinja FMT. Select case, okay, sqlfmt output. This is interesting that it does this. Write back formatted string. Lots of comments. Base model. Semicolons. Chained boolean in between. Okay, so this between and between and and between and area between. This is confusing, but it formats it properly, which is what I really like. But okay. I think I have an idea of what to do. So I'm gonna try to see if I can write a test. I'm just gonna add like a pre-formatted one here, and I'm gonna add an end-to-end test for it, which should fail, I hope, because of course that's not how the SQL formatter is going to format it. Let's just add a case, I guess. So let's just add this one. So we say it's pre-formatted. Yeah, it's kind of pre-formatted, I guess. This is like 300. I feel like 300 is a code for is a code for something with Jinja in there, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say like 006, so I'm gonna make a new file. 006, 006, multi-line Boolean operators, chained Boolean operators.sql, I guess. This is unformatted. This is pre-formatted. Oh shit, it should be unformatted actually, I think. And then I need to say this. So then we say in the end-to-end test, copies the parameterized list of files directory, returns a temp directory. Okay. Error target. General form. Yeah. Oh no, it pre-formatted, unformatted. So it says mode is mode, source expected, so read test data. Actual, format string, source, check formatting, second pass. Actual, mode. Second pass, check formatting, second pass. I don't know what CTX stands for though. Check. CTX is, I don't know. This is so cool though. I love this. Reads a test file contents and returns a tuple of strings corresponding to the formatted and unformatted. If the test file doesn't include an SQL format, a sentinel. So this is a sentinel. What's a sentinel? Like, what is a sentinel? It's like a, what is a, it's like a tower, right? It's like a watchtower or something, I think. A soldier whose guard is it just, that's a sentinel. That's pretty cool. So, oh, that's not very safe for work, sorry. Okay, so what we need to do is, if the test file doesn't include a sentinel, returns the same string twice, as the input is assumed to be pre-formatted. Okay. Let's try to add the sentinel, I guess, then. I guess. So let's move this. Yes. And then we say it's like 114. And then we add the sentinel output, which is such a cool concept. I love it. I think it's the expected output. And then we say something like, okay, but actually we kind of want this. So we want to say like, where. Oh, this is actually, interesting. It doesn't add the one. This confuses me because if we actually, so let's take this one, no? If we actually format this with the web version, I think it adds the 1 equals 1, which is interesting. So I think, oh no, it doesn't. Oh, but see that it actually, it formats it properly. That's so nice. That's awesome. Okay, so what we do is we do it like this. So we say, so now when we when we pass this into the formatter online, it says like, this is already formatted. But what we want it to do, given a certain flag, which I don't know how to make, but we can probably ask for help, is to say, where, and then on the first line we have the first condition, so subject is math, and then we have and, this learning objective is addition, and but this is and this. I wonder if this is gonna work. Okay, anyway, let's just try to add it. So this is general formatting. So now we add this. I have a very nice shortcut to copy the file name. So Ctrl-Alt-F copies the file name here. And then we add it here. Oh, actually in unformatted. Boom, SQL. Okay. And now we added, hopefully, let's run this. I don't want to run all of them, actually. Yeah. Okay. And now the question is, it's going to fail, right? Yes, it's going to fail. This is perfect. So the first step is to write a failing test. Now, the question is, why did it fail? It failed, of course, because if we now make this and we copy this, we name it pass. Oh. And just to confirm my suspicion that if we add the pass thing here, so if we say pass, so now it shouldn't fail, right? So let's rerun this. So now it shouldn't fail, because we literally say like, okay, I want this piece to be formatted like this, and I want the output to be exactly the same as the input. So hopefully it didn't run. It skipped it for some reason. Let me see. Chained Boolean operator pass. Of course it's the same, but okay, this should pass, this should fail. So let's try again. Chained operators Boolean pass SQL. Yeah. This should work. No, it doesn't. This is interesting. Okay. Formatting error. Output file written to tests dot result. Okay, let's look there. No. So tests dot result. But where did you post this? Here, dot results, and then it says, notice how there's like a white line at the bottom, and if you look at all the other files, it also has a white line. So we just need to add a white line here, and then also a white, like a new line. Sorry, here. So let's try again. I keep saying that this is such a well-written piece of code. It has good comments. It's like it has a lot of test cases, 600 test cases. And the code is just a pleasure to work with. Well, so far. Okay, so we have confirmed my suspicion. We can add this chained Boolean operator pass, which basically just does exactly the same. Now we can basically write this test case. And have it fail. I think. And then we can just step through the program, I think. Yeah, so I guess we can just step through the program. So let's add the chained Boolean operator. Chained Boolean operators. So now I'm going to run it again. Now it should fail. Could only, yeah, now it should fail. And then we are going to set some breakpoints and see whether we can understand what's happening as we go through the code. Yeah, so it probably runs them in parallel, I think, or some of them are quicker than others. Yeah, so let's just first step through the code, and then later we can set breakpoints and see what happens. So what is happening is that we try to run this test, which test the formatting, and we set the mode. I don't know what a mode is, but we will figure that out. So I'll probably make a question list with questions, I guess. So what is a mode? I wrote a failing test and a passing test. What is a mode? I don't know. We'll find out. Then we read the test data. Already kind of worked through this already. So it reads the test data with the source and the expected. And then we format the string. So we say, okay, format string, and then checks formatting. So this is the important part. I actually wonder. It returns a tuple of strings. That's cool though. A tuple of strings. Is like an SQL query just a string? It's like string formatting, but then parsed, which is pretty interesting. Okay, then we format string, which is has a mode as an input. So we click on format string, and then mode is a mode, and it says here, like, sorry. It says something like takes a raw query string and the mode as input, returns the formatted query as a string, and raises a standard sqlfmt error if it cannot be formatted. All right, so what's a mode then? Well, let me first see what. I don't think it's that important, but I'm just curious now. Like, a mode is a container for all sqlfmt config. This is cool. So this is like a. This is cool. Well, it is explained in the mode class docstring. It is a container data configuration. It's a format. It's a configuration. It is a configuration data object. Let's call it like that. So basically, it has all the. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we do formatting on the string plus all the options. That's so cool. It's so cool. So probably we can add, like, we need to add it here where we say if we add another flag, which is to like force every where clause on the same line, right? Because that's our whole goal. If that is indeed our goal, then we need to add it here. I think add like a mode. I don't know what a data class is, but it looks pretty cool. What is a data class? Question mark. So main bulk of the main meat is basically formatted, is format string, raw, and config. That's basically what's happening. Okay. Cool. So this is the API. Yeah. So the API is basically where most of the where everything happens. So we say analyzer is the initialization of the analyzer. That's fine. We take the raw query, which is the source string, Then we take the query formatter with the mode or the configurations, and then we do a formatter.format, and then we return it as a string. That's pretty cool. So we have the formatter is a query formatter. So let's look at the query formatter, what it is. And then it calls the format on the raw query, of course. So let's look at the formatter, which calls the raw format query. It's very easy to follow, very easy to read. And format passes in the raw query and returns the query as well. So what's a query then? It's a collection of lines. What is a line then? A line is a collection of nodes and comments. Interesting. And what is a node? A node wraps a lexed token but adds many calculated properties. This is pretty complex. A reference to the node that immediately precedes this node. The calculated white space this is so cool. The properly capitalized token contents of the properly capitalized token contents and the open brackets that increase the syntax depth. Formatting disabled. What? And Lex token are basic elements of SQL syntax. We only care about a small number of token types. And they are for formatting. And then, so there are many token types, and they are enumerated here. And then we have a token is a named tuple. Okay. So we can actually, this is a string representation, and this is, I kind of forgot question mark stir and question mark repr. I know that repr stands for representation, so it's like when you print a string, but I forgot what the difference between these two is. I think this happens when you print, and this happens when you try to cast it into a string. So let's find out. What does stir do in Python? Represents the object as a string. Okay. Stir is okay. And okay. So string represents a class object as a string. Okay. Represents the class object as a string. Let's put that in. So what does stir do? Represents the class object as a string. Can't get more ambiguous than that, or okay. It's pretty cool. So, and the representation is kind of the same, I think, but it doesn't have to be a string. But it does return a string. This is not correct, does it? Returns a tuple. No, wait, sorry. This is an implied string. So, it doesn't. So black formats this. It's not a tuple because there's no commas at the end. This is just a single string that's broken up over multiple lines and combined into the same the same string. Okay, it's very clear, very clean to read, easy to follow. My only question or whatever is that I need to think about how can I best tackle this problem. Okay, I am interested in how it, for example, let's say we go here, like, I want to know what happens here, basically. So, I'm going to go into the debugger. Wait. Okay, it's going into the debugger now. So we're here. We're here now. So now it says, like, for a line in lines, transform. And the formatted query is like, we can actually, I think I can add like a line here. I can say, like, I can like take this as like a temporary thing, like to do remove or temp or whatever. I can take this, I think, and say print formatted query. I'm not sure if it's gonna come up when I when this continues to run. So continuing is F5, yeah, F5. Do we print output terminal problems, output, no, terminal, no, get lens debug, clear, okay. Let's try again. So we go again, which is like F5, I don't know. I want to do it again. Control-Shift-D. Run and debug. No. Test. Debug test. Okay, and then we go F5. Formatted query. Can I click on this? No. Call stack, watch, globals. Ah, look, there we are. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do it like this, but maybe I should just do it like just print this formatted query. So then we return the formatted query, and then I think we stringify it. So we do have to stringify it. So we do print string of this, and then we just call it every time. This should work. Okay. Or well, so let's keep this and just run it after every. Now, okay, so now I want to run it again. I just want to run the same test again. Run. Start debugging. F5. Debug the currently active file. No. testing. Yes, testing, but I want specifically, I want the debug. No, no, no. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can I? Okay, I'm gonna run it. No, I don't want to run it. I want to debug it. Debugger. Fine, run and debug. Python file. Yes, this one fails. We know. I don't mind. I know that this fails. Okay, I don't care. I don't know. I don't want this one. Testing. I want this one to debug this one. Why did I add a breakpoint here? Okay, wait. This is getting messy. I want to stop running the tests. Click. Then I want to go here. I just want to run and debug this test. Exactly. Now I want to open the debugger. View debug console. Good. So now I can look at I can look at lines, for example. I can look at pipeline, which is a list of functions. I think 4 is such good code. Then I go to raw query, which is a collection of nodes, which is really cool. This is amazing how they did this. This is not my code. This is all like code someone else wrote. Okay, can I first time chat? I wanna. Hey, thanks, Vara Zbin BMX. That's nice of you. Sorry for just checking the chat a bit late. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go through the hide player. I want to go through the transformations to see what happens with the line. So if I do this, I should see like when I do this, it should print the whole query, maybe even without the. This should, I think, return exactly. But we actually want to. So we say print. Okay. For some reason, the print doesn't work here. Because we are in a REPL, I guess. So this is it. Can I maybe save this? Maybe I can save this in like a small file or something, like with open tmp.txt or md no SQL, and then we say append. We want to first create it, so like right plus, I think. So I want to save everything to a file. F with open as f write, and then we want to write this bad boy. So we want to write the string representation of the formatted query. Yeah, or we can do this. We can say something along the lines of, formatted query is this, and then we want to write it to a file, where we also write some lines in front and some lines in the kind of just so we know what kind of step we are in, right? So like here we say step, so which step we are at. And then we have to, for edx transform in enumerate pipeline. I think enumerate pipeline is a thing. And then we try to rerun this test. Only this test. This is like pure debugging. So we exit. We go to testing. And we just want to run this one. Okay, so now there should be a new file somewhere. There should be a file called tmp.sql now, but I don't see it. With open tmp.sql. With open as a, maybe with open only, with open a, I think maybe it only appends it if it exists. So a, yeah, file, file is created. This is weird. So with open pub tmp.sql as a, with open okay. Oh no, of course it didn't do anything yet because we're here in the debugger step, right? So let's just continue. So now it writes an error because, yeah, okay. So the step doesn't exist because we write enumerate pipeline. Sorry. So we need to make this index, and now it should work. So we get rid of this breakpoint, and now we can rerun this test. Okay, I've been rerunning this test so often. I actually I'm considering of making a launch thing for it. So I want to debug this test, or go to this test, and then I want to add a run configuration somewhere. Reveal in Test Explorer. No. Okay, whatever. Now we should have created a new file. Yeah. So this is what happens. Okay, of course, this is not This is not a new line. It should write a new line like this. Okay. We can remove this file. And now we rerun the test to see what happens. The test should fail. And we have the steps in between now. So first this is really cool to see how it works though. So first it splits this is what the formatter does. It first reads in the lines, then it makes a pipeline. So step one, it splits the lines. So that's kind of clear to see. So it first splits the lines. Where subject is something and something is something and variable conditional indented. And this is weird though. This kind of is I need to figure out how it splits this. This formatting Jinja, we don't touch it, so these two are probably the same. Then we dedent the Jinja blocks, which we also don't have, so it's the same. And then we merge the lines, where we merge these lines together. So what I want to achieve is that this doesn't get broken up in such a weird, well, not in a weird way, but that it forces the like a split on the and values. But this is probably quite difficult because we also have to think about between x and y, which is a test case we should probably write as well. So the main things we need to consider ourselves with is not with the format Jinja and the dedent blocks, but with the merge lines and the split lines. So let's see how split lines works. Split lines make line depth consistent and transparent. Okay. So no, wait, it's here. It's a short function. So it splits the lines to make line depth consistent and syntax apparent. Okay. Maybe split. New lines. Lines. 4 line in lines. List. Splits. The splitter, maybe split. So look at the line splitter. A thing doer evaluates a line for splitting. If a line matches criteria for splitting, it yields new lines. Otherwise, it yields the original lines. Okay. So it's an iterator. An iterator is something in Python which we can iterate over, and it contains lines. So this is pretty cool. So if formatting is disabled, we yield, so we return an iterator, right? So we return the same line. Otherwise, it can also yield more lines, because if you split a line and then it needs new things to iterate over, because those things also might need splitting. Okay, so if line formatting disabled, yield line, return. If split after is false. For I in enumerate line.nodes. If node is new line. Okay, so we cannot split before new line. If e is bigger than 0 and split after, or maybe split before, then we split at the index. Whoa, I don't understand this. Yield from self split. Okay. Yield from. I've never seen this before. Return. Maybe split before it, if we should split or not. Wait, here. Split before any operator. So split before this. Unless the previous node. So unless the previous node is a closing bracket. Why? Or statement, or it is the and following in between. Wow, this code is, I have to say, this code is written so incredibly well. It's so easy to follow. I'm not the best coder, but it's very clear. I love how it's like, what I really like is that it's built up in a very logical and consistent way. You have like a query formatter, a line splitter, a line formatter, a thing doer. The files are short and you can easily look at them, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so what if we look at this? Okay, so we consider the splitter, and most likely we need to do something here, I think. We need to say something along the lines of split before any operator. So this is an operator, this is an operator. So basically it's like this. And then it says split. So this is the operator. It probably is able to split it up into like subject. It's like I think a keyword, maybe not a keyword, just a normal word, or a non-keyword token. Operator token, another thing. And then it says split before any operator, so it splits here. I don't know why, but it splits there. Unless the previous node is a closing bracket. So this one is like this. So this one is like this. So we say to make the line length consistent, I split it here. So we dedent it, and it's clear that this one is here. But we don't split here because the previous node is a closing bracket. But why not? Like, what happens if we remove that piece of code? I'm just curious. Returns true if this node is an operator and it has the right context for splitting before. So what if we just disable this? I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's code. We can break it. So let's let's delete this. And watch it. Oh shit! I ran all of them. Okay, they're all gonna fail now, most likely. Oops. Oh wow! Only some of them are actually only some of them are failing. That's so interesting. That's really funny. That's interesting. Okay, so now, of course, it's a bit slower now because we write all the test cases here. When we should have only done one of them. Because we only want this one, of course. So let's go there. Then we only debug or run this one. This is gonna fail. But we have a nice tmp.sql then. Exactly. So now this is what we are looking for, kinda, I think. So what we are looking for, I'm just gonna post my stream on Twitch 1 second. Where is my link? Streaming on Twitch. Hacking. Yeah, so sorry, I got distracted a bit. So now we actually don't split. We do split after. We do split after a closing bracket. But still merging it kinda messes it up. But why? But why? So this gets merged. This gets merged. This should get merged, and this should also get merged. Or maybe it has to do with the merging actually. Okay, so let's see what happens. So we briefly considered the merge lines. Now let's consider what happens in the no, we considered the split lines. Let's consider now what happens in the merge lines. So in the merge lines, we minimize vertical merge lines to minimize vertical space. That's kind of funny though, because I feel like this query, this SQL formatter, really emphasizes vertical space. And here it says minimize lines, merge lines to minimize vertical space used by the query, while maintaining the syntax hierarchy achieved by the splitter. So maybe merge lines. Tries to merge any short line split by operator, and then merges any hierarchical statements. So maybe merge operators, maybe merge segment. It tries to merge runs of lines at the same depth that start with an operator. So lines can't end with an operator unless it's an operator on a line by itself. We need to try one more time to merge everything after head. Indented from the first line. Okay. I'm wondering. So let's step back for a moment. What we want to do is we want to have something formatted like this. Is it possible to so we split them up. So we split them up here, and then at the last step we add them back together, like but then why does it work for some of the other, like for this one, for example, it splits it up nicely. Because maybe I can try this one. I can debug this one. Let's try to debug the 111. And then we go here. Debug 111. Okay. Nope. This actually passed. That's interesting. Let's look here. So this is many steps, but yes. So first step is we indeed split it up into and keyword between. And then at step 3 we just merge it in. So maybe it has to do with the merging. So maybe maybe we can do it in the merge. So if we don't, like what happens if you have a very deeply nested like when, so it splits the lines and then later it merges the lines, but maybe we can find a way that we disable, that we basically force the formatter to always assume that the line length will be like overwritten, will be exceeded. So I think that the if the line length here is exceeded, then it starts putting them underneath each other. But this is not always the case. But if we can force the formatter, in such a way that the merge lines always thinks that it is like overwriting the max length, then maybe it can work. I'm not sure. So let's look at the line merger. Maybe merge tail closes head, maybe merge operators, maybe merge this, maybe merge this. It's quite complex, this. Split into segments. Okay, so a segment is a list of consecutive lines that are indented from the first line. So in our case, where's the query now? So yeah, so this is a segment, I think. So select star from historic answers, and where this is all segment. So we need to look at the segments. Now where's the formatter? merge lines. Line merger, merger. So segment, split into segments. Okay, we scan through the lines. Okay, that's fine. Maybe merge operators. Tries to merge runs of lines, so a list of lines at the same depth. Merge across low priority operators. Line continues operator sequence. Returns true if the line or current state indicates that this line is part of a sequence of operators. If line depth, low priority. Line starts with a comma, starts with an operator. So okay, so here we try to merge everything above the line from head to tail into a single line. The merge line is probably too long. Try the same section again, but don't try to merge. If the merge line is too long, create merge line. Okay. So here it tries to... we should probably do something here. But I don't see what at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break because I'm tired. So I'm gonna take a break by playing chess, which is a very smart thing to do. I'm actually really bad at chess in like blitz because I make a lot of blunders when I'm low on time. My rating on like classical, well, on 10 minutes plus 0 is, I think, is a bit higher. I just miss a lot of tactics when when I press on time. But it is a really fun game to, you know, sometimes play. I used to play a lot when I was younger. I won a chess tournament once. What do we do here? I take, I guess. I won a chess tournament once, but it's nothing really fancy. Okay, so if he takes, I lose this pawn, which I've done a lot. So I need to... but now I drop this pawn. See, this is why I'm... yeah. Ooh, he missed it. Ooh, good lord. I really like playing hyper aggressively, which means h4, h5, queen here. So I'm just gonna get rid of this pin first. Okay, he moves back. I move the queen there. Now I'm battering up here. I push this piece forward. He takes, I take, he takes. Yeah, it's a mistake on my part. Fuck. So, I mean, I guess I have to take. He takes. But now I can do this. If he takes, I take. This is some more. I'm a pawn down. But I have some active pieces, so... h4, h5. I just really like explosive and dynamic play. I'll get back to coding in a minute. Ooh, this is a juicy tactic, but it doesn't work because you can just capture it. No. I can go. F4 and then F5. Do I drop any pieces? No. This is still pinned, which is slightly annoying. But hey, so I'm obviously threatening this now. And then I'm threatening this. So he needs to move either pieces out of the way, I think. Can he capture? No, he can capture this, but I recapture, that's fine. Okay. So if I do this, then he captures there. Okay, so I have to do this. He captures, I capture. That's not winning for him. Right. He captures, I capture, he captures, I capture. Now he has to move a piece. Maybe capture here. Yeah, fuck, that works actually. Oh. Okay. Capture there now? No. Okay. So now I do this. I should probably castle. Okay. Is it time for me to castle? Ooh, this is checkmate. Wow. No, it's not checkmate, but it's very close to checkmate actually. So check, he goes there, I capture there, he goes there. I go there, fork. No, that doesn't work. But it's very nasty. Ooh, okay. No, but didn't. Now it's checkmate. It's not? I can still put the queen in between. GG. Good game. GG. Okay. I think I'm gonna close the stream for now. Just gonna write out a quick report what I did. Well, not a report, but yeah, kind of a report, I guess. Kind of a log of what I've been doing. So what I did, set up the project. So what I did, set up the project, ran all the tests, added a new failing test, printed some output of the 4 transformations that are applied. My gut feel says that we need to look at one, breaking up lines with a closing paren, merging lines together, I think. Okay, what I really like about this code base, the code is really clean. It has a lot of type hints. There's a clear focus on the data structures behind the parser. Of course, this is kind of implied because the way this works is by literally taking a query, putting it into a format in like a tree, like a linked list node-ish structure where each operator is a thing and each and each token, each string is a thing, you know, like a string is a token, an equal sign is also a token, but an operator. Then you combine these two nodes into a line. These lines become segments. These segments become queries, etc., etc., etc. It's really cool. It's really clear, really well written. There are many tests, so 600 plus, I think, 500 plus at least. And they all run really fast. The tests run really fast, like less than 1 minute. It has a lot of, the tests have a lot of data IO, so like data examples. And from the class-based structure, it's very easy to follow in terms of pipelines. So like it's just very clean. It's clean and understandable. You have like you have things, as in like node, a line, etc. And you have thing doers, I would almost say, like line splitter, line merger, etc. What else do I like about this code base? Yeah, that's it. Actually, no, it's not it, but it's just very well documented, has a lot of tests, works. Oh, it has great setup instructions. It's an amazing piece of code, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's written in Python Black, so the formatting is great. Type hints are great. Imports are sorted. Okay. The files are, well, that's actually not true. They're not that short. I don't really want to add it as a git commit because, but if you do a squash merge anyway, then it's fine. So I'm not a fan of like work in progress commits, but if you squash merge in the end when you make like a PR, then it's fine. Yeah. So thank you all for watching, for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure if you learned anything. I do hope so. So in this stream, tried to get this repo up and running, and we got it up and running, so that's really nice. This was my first actual real foray into open source hacking, like downloading a repo and then making it work. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, follow, whatever, if you want to see more of this. Or leave me a nice message, because they always motivate me to stream more. Okay, thanks guys, and see you later.